Well, good morning. It's been about 3 days. When I was up there climbing and squeezing under that big kind of foot square joist that's up there, I was shifting, and then one of the rafters, ceiling rafters, whatever joists up there, I managed to squeeze, and I pressed it in my ribs, and the actual edge of it went between the two of them, and then I think I shifted some weight, and it popped in a rib. I don't think I broke it or fractured anything like that, but I've got a big bruise under my boob here, and yeah, so it's quite sore on the outside. The first day or so I couldn't really move this whole side of my body. It did something that kind of shifted the back as well. So yeah, so I've been kind of laid flat for a couple days, and then yesterday was pretty good, and then today I think I'm good enough to go as long as I don't smack that. But as you saw, I'm pretty much done that, and that's the last section. I've just got to put up a few rolls of the 200mm that stuff in the other direction of the rock wool, and then I've got to finish the big area, which I kind of started in, and I just got to finish putting 200 around and roll a couple more hundreds out. So it's the physical crawling around is kind of minimized now. I just got to do a couple rolls up there, so hopefully I won't hurt this too much. And then I'm done, which would be fantastic because I'm really tired of this. Hopefully I can get this done today, at least this one. I'm gonna take it nice and easy because I don't want to hurt myself anymore. It's a little bit stiff, like it's a little bit like, I'm gonna keep going to try to get something done because I've already been down for 3 days and I want to get things done, right? This is too much. It's been months now of doing this installation, so let's get to it. Another thing, I just thought I'd show you this. So I'm a little disappointed in the roofers. So we paid them a little extra to basically roll. I think there's a communication area or issue, but basically what they did is they just left this here like in a ball instead of putting insulation down in a section. I don't know if they didn't think I would see it or not, but you know, when I do something, I want to do it right. I couldn't do that to someone else just by jamming in all the extra plastic and then leaving a big square. So you kind of couldn't see it, but because I was going underneath, I managed to pull it out. And I mean, that would just let all the heat up. What's the point of doing, you know, that whole section if there's a big kind of gap in it where all the heat can just go through, right? So yeah, I'm definitely disappointed. We shouldn't have, you know, we didn't pay a ton of money for them to do it. They were just supposed to do the edges like under that, if you saw that beam where I couldn't reach. Well, these two ends here, I could in the hallway because they're actually higher up, but the rest of the house I can't reach. Which is why I was using the grabby thing and why there's a little bit of gaps and stuff that I can't really fill in. It's not perfect, but I knew, you know, I thought they could just roll that down kind of easily. You know, it's a very, very flat, shallow roof, but you know, and you have to have airflow through the top, so I can't just jam it all in there. Anyways, just a bit of like, you know, if you're going to do something, do it right. Otherwise, you just, you know, this is why I'm doing a lot of this myself, because you really can't trust builders, you know. They're very nice guys, but I think they just got a little bit sloppy there, and that's like the second kind of pile of junk I found there, let alone all the tiles that I have to clean out. It's just frustrating because I just want it to work. We spent, you know, thousands on all this insulation. And because it's such a big house, you know, we're not going to redo all the windows at this point because we like the old look. And they're not efficient, so our main saving of energy and heat is to do the installation up here properly, at least as properly as we can do it. So anyways, enough venting. Let's see if I can go and finish this job finally. Yeah, wish me luck. So I'm tired of it. Very tired of it. let's think. Whole point is I want to be able to fold this over so it goes over the trap door without a space to kind of seal it. So, do I do multiple smaller pieces? And maybe just a square there. And then cut the excess off, back a bit, and then make a chunk that fits exactly. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I've got to put pieces in over there anyway, so. Oops, let's do that. Well, I'm going to take a break right now from that other side. I've got a couple strips to add in and kind of the portion that's going to go over the trapdoor. But what I'm thinking is that because I've got a lot bigger spaces here to finish, I'm going to finish this side first, and then with all the little scrappy bits that I have left over from cutting things, I'll use it on that side. But yeah, so I've got basically on the far side over here, in the front of the house, I've got to put down 100 mil across, probably 3 rows of that. And I'm just going to lay on top what we have here. I've got a little section right below me here where all the electrical wires are. I'm just going to cut a square, kind of put it to the side, because all these wires are going to get cut out. And they're going to get replaced with my next job, which is rewiring most of the house, at least for now. And then I've got to do a little section behind here of 200. I have to lift up this floor stuff, put 100 under it. And then I have a section here that's missing. And then I have to do, basically I'm going to lay on top, similar to this stuff, on top of the pipes that go to the top of the stairs. My width about this much just to kind of cover it. And then that should be this side all done. Not too much crawling around, a little bit over there, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Get to it, but yeah, getting close. Don't know if we'll get it all done today. My old boob is kind of hurting a bit, but or my ribs really, but still, it's just, yeah, just taking it easy. Don't want to hurt myself anymore. So yeah, I've seen the end now. It feels like the end is coming, which is great. Well, it's the next day. Guess what? It's the last day. I'm so happy. I have 3 pieces left to do. I was just getting a little bit too much boob soreness here with my ribs. Yeah, I'm okay for today. Just get this done and then I can move on to the next thing. So I have 2 pieces to do up there. I have a strip of about 30 centimeters and a little square that I'm going to roll over and cover the door. I have a little teeny square left to do in that section, the large section that's on the other side with the window to the outside of the house. And then I have to cut the foam PIR insulation plug and put it up, and then that's it. We've done everything. I'm good to go. I can never do it again. Well, at least not here, hopefully. And yeah. Very happy. I don't think you understand how happy I am to be done this. This has been a brutal slog. Probably 4 times longer than I expected. You wouldn't expect it. Yeah, rolling out some insulation, vacuuming some junk up. But it's just been the moving and the crawling around. You really feel old when you're doing that, I tell you. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's finish it off. Here we are! Yay! Well, careful with these live wires and whatnot, but this is the last piece of insulation that's going to go in. Obviously, it's going to go where the position of this box of live wires is when I redo the insulation or the electrical. It's been a long process. I've learned quite a bit of stuff, especially about how bendy I am. I'm not, and how much more I got to get in shape to be able to do this kind of stuff. I've done all the sections now. I don't think there's anything left that I've missed. Overall, I think we're saving a lot of energy. We had one of the coldest kind of December, early Januaries this year, and we've certainly not been using as much electricity. Yes, some of that's from the solar panels and the automations and stuff that I have going, but I'm finding that the rooms in previous years you could never really get them up to like 20 degrees, 22 degrees. Now, when we run it, it's maybe an hour or two and they're up to the appropriate temperature when it's cold out. And that's just using those electric heaters. No pellet stove like we had like last year. And it does feel a lot better. Especially up here, you would come up the stairs up here on a cold day and it was absolutely freezing and you could feel all the wind blowing through everything. So yeah, it's making a big difference. I've rechecked with my little thermal camera all the ceilings up here, and you used to be able to see all the rafters in the ceiling, well, the difference in temperature, and then obviously with there just being kind of those weird tiles in the ceiling and lathe and plaster, it just, all that heat was just shooting right up and it was a really dark blue. Now it's kind of like a really pale blue or kind of almost a teal color, and that indicates that it's much more insulated. So the only area I have left to do now that I think about it is the top of the stairs. So the area where it sticks out of the roof, it has to be insulated from the inside. So what I'm going to do is put kind of a thin layer of like a foam board in there, like I've done for other things. And then what I'm going to do is just put plasterboard over top of that. Obviously vapor barrier and all that sort of stuff at the top of the stairs, and that should save quite a bit more. But that's something for when we get indoor, when we get larger scaffolding and we have more time. But for right now, it looks like we're saving a lot of energy, a lot of money. So, and the house overall feels a little warmer, even though we're heating it, if that makes sense. Anyways, it's been a good experience to get it done and to learn. It's been brutal on my body. It's been good to realize just how out of shape I am and how not flexible I am. But hopefully going forward, especially in the summer when I get out doing a little more exercise, I'll be ready for the next project. The next thing what we're going to be doing is doing the wiring. So all these wires you see here that are hanging around and stuff like that, they're just temporary. I'm going to be redoing the whole thing, putting in 4 circuit boards, breaker boards, boxes, and then I'll be cutting. I'm not going to go and try to rip it out of all the walls. I'm just going to kind of cut back to the edge. So we'll have all this wire that we'll just take back and whatever, recycle it or try to sell it or something like that. But yeah, that's the next big one. Get the wiring sorted, and then we're going to do at least most of it. What I'm going to do is kind of get a plug in each room, and then I'm going to focus on getting 4 indoor heat pump units installed. And then I'm going to go back to doing, and then I'll probably go back to doing, I'm not sure if I'll do all of them. We'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen. All I know is that we need heat pumps, we need a bathroom, and we need the wiring sorted. So I'm going to be kind of popping around doing stuff, but yeah. Really appreciate you staying with me in this. It's been a boring journey, but it's been nice to know people are kind of encouraging me to keep going. So thanks a lot for watching, and cheers.